Hey, series. So for years, I've been staring at the sun, and not because it was something that was learned into me, but because I actually genuinely wanted to stare at the sun. And it happened organically on a dog walk. And as I was staring at it, I could hear that program, somebody else's program, say, "Stop staring at the sun. It's going to make you go blind." And even as that came up, though, I didn't let that sway me. I stayed right in alignment with what felt good at my core, in my God instinct, my gut instinct. And from that day forward, I started to chase the sun. And I would Google different locations, for the best viewpoints to watch the sunrise. And then as I was doing that over the years, then information began popping up around me to support what I was doing. So if you're watching this video, I'm not prescribing that you go look at the sun. In fact, I want you to cross-examine what I'm saying with your own innate wisdom, with your own God instinct. Not with the programs that have been taught into you. That's the learned behavior that's not yours. That's where we become repeaters of somebody else's information. And that is what being heavily educated does. It blocks your view and ability to connect with your inner wisdom. And you become a terminal to information coming in rather than being emitted from you. And that's why I believe it is important that when you're watching something on YouTube or wherever, or you're reading some piece of literature, not just to go repeat that, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea, I'm going to go do it." But did you line up with that information on your own? Were you out walking one day and just decided to stare at the sun? Or did you have to watch somebody like me right now explain my experience of that, and now that's overriding your view of what your experience might be? So it takes a willingness to sift through the rubble of the mind, because it is so conniving. Sometimes it can lead you to believe that what somebody else has suggested is your belief and is your truth. And that can be challenging to decipher when you've spent your whole life in the box of learned behaviors. So make sure that when you're listening to information coming in, you're reading information, you really take the time to feel that information. Don't just think about it. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They think and they go right back into the box. That's why all thinking is the box. Feel it out. Get into your body and sit still. How does that information feel? Not how does it relate to what's been taught into me and thinking. How does it feel? Because once you get into your body to feel it, you blow the box of thinking wide open, and you just simply know the answer. So you move from thinking to knowing. You move from the astral mind into the physical body, which I believe is the soul's evolution at this time, simply because it is the proof of where we're at. And many people like to argue we are not our bodies, and it just simply keeps them more astral and in the thinking realm, in the spiritual realm, which is a whole other topic. So can you be a walker versus a talker? Are you always going to be going into comparison over what somebody else says as well? Like sitting here watching this video thinking, how can I do this better? And things like that, that just completely shut down your God instinct. How can you be the best version of yourself for you? so that you can connect with yourself and with other people instead of maybe always having to compete with other people. That's a very fear-based mindset in the sense that everything is surface level, right? What do you do for a living? The clothes you wear, the car you drive, the people that you know is going to help me determine what I think of you, not what I know about you, what I think about you. Again, very surface level. People who are off center, they like to portray a certain image of themselves. I'm doing so well, I'm doing fabulous, I've got all these wonderful clients, and let me list them all off. Let me show you who I am. And also with the education, these are my degrees. They're all seeking outer approval and validation because there is such a deep well lacking in that within themselves. So they'll always continue to want to take from you. I've spent many years centering myself through emotional accountability, and I've noticed that as I've done that, my appearance has shifted. It's not that I don't care about what I look like, but it's not something I'm wearing on myself each day to find approval seeking, to align with thinkers but not knowers. Negative energies come in and out with the positive. That's just how it goes. We're never on an even keel all of the time. Our minds are fluctuating in and out of reality. Fantasy Island, back into reality. Fantasy Island is the mind that overthinks, that doesn't know. Right? Reality is being centered and anchored in your physical kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You've got to center yourself into the proof of what reality is in this moment, not where your mind thinks it needs to be and is in desperation to be so that it can feel secure in its skin. Stepping outside of the box is something that is also challenging to do in the beginning, but then, like anything, starts to become more of a reflex. And when somebody's activating something in you, you don't go into deflection. You don't say, you're making me feel this way, or blaming the person for the way that you're feeling. I'm sure you've had people in your life that say, yeah, I'm listening to you, I hear you, while they're formulating the attack onto you for what you said. And their response to you is, yeah, well, remember the time that you did this, or you act this way. So they're not hearing you at all. They're not letting that sink in and being emotionally accountable. They're not saying, wow, this is coming up in this moment because I'm pulling this out of the person on purpose so that I can heal something within myself. Like how I've referred to in other videos and saying that's pulling the trigger on being triggered. That's the victim mentality that refuses to self-inquire and that wants to remain at war, essentially. So people coming in and out of our lives is just the way that life is going to go. And you have the opportunity to stay amongst these people, these consumers of your energy, which will unveil to you that you're allowing that to happen, or you just simply recognize it right away and veer away from that energy.